You see all these IT certifications floating around, NSE SUC, NSE WU, CompTIA, this, Cisco, that. It can feel like an alphabet soup. But today, we're zeroing in on one. That's a big deal for network pros. The Fortinet NSE WU for Secure Wireless LAN. It sounds intense, and it seems like it's designed for people who are already pretty deep in the game.
It is absolutely. This isn't your weekend learn to Wi-Fi course. This is for the pros who are managing complex enterprise-level wireless networks. And the exam itself, the Fortinet NSE WU Secure Wireless LAN CDNC, it's a real test of whether you can handle that environment under pressure.
Let's break down the logistics of that pressure. It's a Lucier Minute session with censure to Cisher questions, focusing on the latest FortiGate and FortiAP TDRC versions. And the recommendation is that you come in with at least 2 years of network security experience.
Exactly, and that experience requirement is the real gatekeeper here. This isn't an entry-level cert where you can just memorize definitions. The Lucier minute window for up to C-sure questions is tight, meaning they expect you to recognize configurations and troubleshooting steps almost instantly. It's a Luling minute sprint where 2 years of experience meets C-sure questions. You don't just need to know the how, you need to have the muscle memory of a seasoned admin.
So the clock is definitely the enemy here. But beyond the time limit, what exactly are they testing you on when you're under that pressure?
Well, it's built on 4 main pillars. It starts with the basics like managing and deploying FortiApp devices, but then it quickly gets into the serious stuff.
Right. The exam covers 4 main areas: managing 40 apps, implementing security like NAC and VLANs, monitoring for threats, and deep dive diagnostics. They are particularly looking at how you use FortiPresence for location-based analytics and client-level troubleshooting.
Right, and I think the security and access pillar is where most people feel the heat. It's one thing to set up a Wi-Fi password, but it's a whole other level to correctly segment a network with VLANs and network access control. You have to make sure a guest using the public Wi-Fi on their tablet can't even sniff the same air as your company's accounting server.
That makes sense. And what about the FortiPresence piece? That seems like a jump from traditional networking.
It is. It's really the aha moment of this certification. It's where you stop thinking about Wi-Fi as just a utility and start seeing it as a sensor grid. You're learning to turn that wireless signal into a business tool. For example, in a retail environment, you can literally see how long a customer lingers in a specific aisle. It's about being a wireless administrator who understands the business value of the data, not just the signal strength.
Got it. So it's a massive jump from just keeping the lights on to actually generating actionable data. Now, to get all these skills recognized, you have to fit this exam into a specific certification path, right?
That's correct. It's not a standalone thing.
To actually get your Fortinet Certified Professional badge, passing this exam isn't enough on its own. You need to pair it with the NSE SU FortiOS Administrator core exam, and both have to be completed within a 2-year period.
It's a smart move by Fortinet, really. Think of NSEC as your foundation and NSE WU Wireless as your specialized floor. You need both to call yourself a Fortinet certified professional. It ensures that a so-called wireless administrator isn't just good at Wi-Fi, but also deeply understands the underlying FortiOS that powers the whole security fabric. It's about being a well-rounded pro, not a one-trick pony.
So it's a strategic pair, but given how specific the questions are, especially with the new TDRC features, how do people actually prepare for this without failing on the first try?
That's the million-dollar question, and it really comes down to how you study.
Finally, let's talk prep. The trend is moving away from static PDFs and random online dumps toward more immersive platforms like Spoto, which offer remote server access to simulate the real exam environment, along with tutor support and verified TC-specific questions.
That is the absolute game changer. Studying with outdated free PDFs is like practicing for a flight simulator. Using a paper map, you'll know the names of the buttons, but you won't know how to land the plane. If you're using a free dump from 2 years ago, you're studying for a version of the software that is completely irrelevant. Having a remote server to practice on means your first time seeing the actual exam interface isn't when the clock is ticking and you're paying for it.
Exactly. It's about building confidence through accuracy and realistic practice.
I think if you're going for this cert, there are a few things you have to burn into your brain. First, that Loescher minute window is unforgiving. You've got maybe 2 minutes per question. So you have to know the FortiGate C environment cold. Second, remember that EJIE rule, this exam is an elective, and it only counts toward the FCP certification if you've also passed the NSEC core exam. Third, this isn't just about connecting devices. You have to master the advanced stuff, FortiPresence, NAC VLANs, because they want to know you can secure and even monetize the network. And finally, don't sabotage yourself with bad study materials. Success on the first go really depends on using verified, up-to-date simulations that mimic the real exam.